Hello, Star Wars unboxing fans. Welcome to another episode of Darth Tuba Star Wars Unboxing Show. So excited. Good things come in small packages. I am so excited about this particular unboxing. I cannot contain my excitement. This, if you can look on the box, this is the action figures, Star Wars retro figures. Which retro figures, you might ask? Well, of course, the only retro figures that are yet to come out, and that is the Mandalorian retro style figures. In what was kind of a surprising move, Hasbro decided that in addition to the normal vintage collection, which is the vintage box art, racing stripe art, that they have continued on and off for the past almost, I guess, 15 years at this point, they released some Mandalorian figures on that TBC line. In addition to that, they decided to create a set of vintage retro style figures, meaning figures in the form of the original 1978 through 1985-86 figures that came out, and with the simpler articulation and the simpler paint schemes and the simpler everything. And they have just come in the mail. I mean, I've been seeing other channels having their kind of unveils, and I was like, oh my goodness, where can we get these? Oh my God, I want these to happen. I want them now. So I'm happy to report they are here, and I'm excited for them, and we are going to unbox them now, and I don't want to show my ugly mug anymore, so let's just get to the figures. Okay, so as you can see, we have a case assortment. Okay, this is actually an entire case, a normal kind of case that they would ordinarily ship out to retailers. I don't even know if they're doing that, to be frankly honest. I don't even know if these will ever find their way into retail. There have been some amazing things on YouTube and on different podcasts. Two that I would want to point out specifically is a gentleman by the name of Spectre Creative. That's the channel. He's actually a toy industry person, worked for Mattel, I believe, along with other companies, and he knows all about toy release schedules and that type of thing. And he's doing a really cool series on the release of all of the new the new Power of the Force from like 1995 on. He's kind of just talking through each figure in release order, so that's pretty cool. Also, Rebel Force Radio, the podcast, actually had the gentleman from Spectre Creative on. They've been talking about why we are not seeing more figures out there. What's the reason behind that? And it's very interesting. If a little depressing, it is a real interesting thing to look at. But I don't want to talk about that. Now we're going to talk about the figures that come here. Now, I do believe that most of the figures in this box are, in fact, one-offs, meaning like the box has one of everything, except for, I think, the Mandalorian, which is they have two of, which I think is a smart move to make that one, because I think that's the one that most kids would want if this does find its way into retail. So as you can see, pretty basic packing. Okay, so we'll just start from one end and work our way down. Okay, so there we go, right out of the gate. There it is, the Mandalorian. I'll include some more close-up shots of this. Okay, but as you can see, okay, looking at the figure, and I'll do this overlapping this. Obviously, it has the retro collection sticker. Okay, which you can remove if you want. The nifty box art. Okay, I have to look and see if the Mandalorian that they released like about a few months ago, that included the more detailed, kind of more definitive modern action figure. I wonder if this is the same box art. I think it is. And on the back, there are no pictures. Okay, it just kind of gives you the collect all the following. I think the reason being is that they didn't have them fully done. So the articulation on this is absolutely stunning. I mean, again, we're looking at retro style, folks. We're not looking at anything crazy new. But it's got the cape similar to what Vader, Obi-Wan, Tusken Raider, Leia, those kind of capes that they had back in the 70s. Comes with a simplified version of his blaster and his rifle. So really, really cool. This is obviously pre-Beskar. Okay, this is just the pre-Beskar version of that. So that's one. Okay, let's move on. Okay, and this is the second one that comes in the package. Same exact one. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do an unboxing of that actual second figure. One to keep in the package and one to open. I don't usually do that. This is Okay, Cara Dune, the infamous Cara Dune, with the again, a nice 70s style sculpt. Okay, 5 points of articulation. All right, and again, this is something, it's really funny. Like, I wonder why Hasbro didn't pick up on this a little bit sooner, when companies like, Reaction Figures and Super 7 or whoever's doing that. I think even Funko got in on that by creating figures from all these different properties back in the 70s and 80s and 90s that never got action figures in that retro style. I mean, I have a couple of Back to the Future ones. I think I have a Rocketeer one. And you would think that they would have picked up on that years ago, but they were late to the party. But better late than never. So there's the infamous Cara Dune. Of course, the actress Gina Carano, no longer involved with any Star Wars productions. So some were even speculating whether or not we were going to get the Cara Dune action figure. But I figured, you know what? They made them. They took the time to, it's an 18-month window to make them. So I figured, okay, they made the figure, so they're going to sell the figure. Continue on. Ooh, we have IG-11. Very similar in style to the IG-88 figure. Obviously a slightly brownish color with the crossed chest piece there, along with the weapons. Similar weapons, honestly. It looks as though, I mean, honestly, if you painted that thing gray, it really would look very similar to the IG-88 vintage figure. I think that's by design, because you know that had this come out in the 70s, that's exactly what they would have done. I also want to point out that the card does have the distressed look. Some don't like that, some like it. I'm okay with it. I would love it if the distress was a little different for each card. I don't know if it is. So far, the four that I've opened up, it looks like it's the same exact distressed kind of thing. So I would have liked them to, I thought they were going to kind of rotate different types of distressing around. But as you can see, there's his, looking at the pegs at the bottom, I think the pegs on the feet are definitely more akin to the original. The newer figures seem to have smaller peg holes. So, oh, there he is, the man, the myth, the legend, Quill. I have spoken. Did anybody else really, thought? I know that when you think about it, it makes more perfect sense to put an actor in the costume that's obviously of a smaller stature, and then just have Nick Nolte provide the voice. But there's something about the way this face looks that I thought that they were somehow got Nick Nolte into a mask and just made it look like, pulled the Lord of the Rings thing where they just made him look smaller. Just because he looks like him. He looks like a grizzled old Nick Nolte. It's kind of funny. Oh, rest in peace, Quill. We miss you. Like the little gun, similar to the Jawa gun. Okay, pretty cool. Again, simpler, more basic color scheme, not really reflective of what is happening in the movie itself or in the show itself. Just more of a stylized version. So, but okay, overall, pretty fun. Oh, yes, this one. Yoda and Pram. Now, I like this one. I think that they did a nice job. You've got Yoda, you've got the little base, you've got the frog, you've got the Pram, of course. Okay, so there's a lot that comes with this. It really does. I think it actually makes up for more than the amount of plastic, even though some of the stuff's hollow, even more than what the plastic amount that makes up for it. I really hope they release these in the actual stores, where I can just pick one up here and there. I would like to get another Baby Yoda, another Grogu, the child, and open this one. But for now, these will stay boxed up. Ooh, Moff Gideon. Pretty cool. A little disappointed in the way it's presented in the package, because the cape is kind of fold over itself, so you really don't get to see the detail of his outfit. So the only way to do that would be to open it up. So another one that I might look for a second one so I can take it out of the package and kind of look at it more intently. I do like the cape, though. I think that this is exactly how it would have been done in a retro style at the retro time period. And I love how he comes with the Darksaber, which is essentially, and is again, what I totally see what would have happened in the 70s. Just a gray piece of plastic, a plastic stick. That's exactly how they would have done it back in the 70s. So I actually applaud that. It doesn't all have to be, we can use our imaginations. Okay, and I see, now here's an example of a good way to do the cape. Now I do recognize that this cape, this is of course Grief Karga. I do recognize this cape is a smaller cape. Okay, I think it's a little bit more just kind of draping behind him. So therefore when they placed him in the actual carded bubble here, you could see his nice stylized outfit. Again, not really a full-on representation. I think the more modern vintage collection is clearly more, more akin to what that looks like. But nonetheless, it's so great to have these. And again, I really do hope that I keep going in stores and seeing if there's any hanging on the pegs. I know that that's going to be a long shot, but I will keep hoping. Again, I'll be in Disney parks very soon over the next few weeks, and then of course in the summer, and I hope to maybe be able to pick a few more up there. They tend to have a lot. So those are the wave of retro figures that have come out. And this is the one I'm going to open. This is just making absolutely sure that I did not misread or misinterpret anything. These look like two of identical figures. They are in fact identical. Okay, one is not, I don't believe there's any variance. But you know what? I'm not much of a variant collector, to be honest with you. So I'm going to take the risk. And I believe we are good. Okay, so I would like to kind of maintain the card if I can. But I'm not that concerned with it because I already have the card already carded. So people are like, oh my god, I can't believe you're unboxing it. It's a toy, folks. I have enough things in the box that are protected. Okay, in fact, I will keep this. I'll even keep the little legalese that comes in these little white sheets here. I'm going to put them right back safely in there. Okay, this will stay in the collection. I have a little segment of kind of stuff over here in the bottom. Okay, now it doesn't look like, all right, it looks as though he's got two grip hands. So I'm going to put the blaster in one, the rifle in the other. And there he goes. Okay. Well, now obviously you have to lean this forward. Now what's nice, what I always like about long guns that do stay in the hand is that you kind of have a built-in little crutch. Okay, you can have him stand up, makes him stay up easier. Okay, so good job there. I'll put a close-up in probably over this, but just in case it doesn't happen. All right, some cool stuff. So there you go. Okay, so here we have all the carded figures along with our one loose Din Djarin, the Mandalorian action figure. A little just general comment about the cards. I will say they do seem to have a rounded kind of bend to them, kind of rounding back. At least mine do. So I don't know if that's something that, I'm going to imagine, you saw the box. There was no real protection on the cards. They use each other to protect by kind of going kind of inverted on each other. And that's kind of a standard Hasbro way of, sending out carded figures. So I don't know what can be done about that. I suppose that the best thing to do is to get these into, star case kind of cases, which I haven't really done that yet. I'm considering it, but with all the vintage figures, since the vintage line is a little thinner, I don't want to use the old star cases. I'd rather use the newer ones that are thinner. So I have to pick some of those up. But overall, really happy with this pickup. This was months in the making. I think I ordered them in October or November. It's a crazy amount of time. Happy that the Cara Dune figure is here. Has no leaning on my political beliefs or thoughts. I totally disagree with the actress's political views. That's just me, though. You might agree with her, and that's fine. But agree or disagree, I'm glad that they were able to still get a figure out of her. I have a few more of the Cara Dune figures. I don't think this is an excuse to price gouge. So for anybody who might have bought multiple sets, just if you're going to sell them online, just sell them for a reasonable price. Try not to price gouge. That's just my own take. You can do what you want. But anyway, so that will do it for this episode of Darth Tuba Star Wars Unboxing Show. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification button. Check me out on Instagram and Twitter, Darth Tuba's Unboxing page on Facebook. If you want to support the channel, we have great merch at my TeePublic store. That's the only way I do merch right now. I'm thinking about starting an Etsy store where I can do some stickers and some smaller items like that. But until that time, We are all about the TeePublic, and you know, TeePublic takes and removes some of my items. So I would check back frequently each week that you check a channel out. Go to the store and see what's there, because it may not be there the next week or the next month. So I don't even know if this cloud car is still available anymore. But if you're really interested, message me, email me at darthtuba77@gmail.com, and I will look into seeing if I can get you maybe some stickers or some buttons or things like that. That's the kind of stuff I can do on my own. That's a great way to support the channel, folks. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, may the Force and the toys be with you. And as he says, this is the way.